Hi, this is Alan08, and I'm doing a review of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 Reunion, Part 1. We open with the ladies arriving at the studios. Annie's making his round of visits to the ladies in their respective trailers. Abby is reminding Sutton to stay strong in what she says and no crying. Andy jokes with Kyle that Mauricio will be at the reunion, which makes Kyle react like, you better be kidding me with this. He's like, I am kidding with you. Erica visits Dorit in her trailer, and Dorit fills Erica in on Kyle sending her a text the day before the reunion after not speaking with her for some months. And Dorit asks Erica, like, you know how you said that Kyle needs to be eviscerated just like you were eviscerated for your lawsuit? She said, yeah, I remember. Well, I just think that fair is fair, and like you just made the point that I was making, like fair is fair. And then we get a full-length detail of the text that Kyle sent her the day before. And Dorit said that she felt that Kyle was manipulating her. And honestly, before I read the text, I saw it on Instagram, so I guess I skimmed through it, but it was on the episode where I really got a little more of a in-depth view of it. Because at first I was like, well, it doesn't really seem manipulative to me, but after really reading it, or per Erica's, I hate when I'm trying to think of a word and I can't think of it, but anyway. But let's just say after seeing it for myself, I'm realizing how calculated it does seem. Because it's like, you haven't spoken to Dorit in months. Why are you choosing to reach out to her now? And why would you do it the day before the reunion? And then towards the end, she said that she would like to talk with her, with Dorit alone, the day after the reunion. Like, why do you want to talk with her the day after the reunion? You have plenty of opportunities to do so. But anyways, child. The ladies all pile into the set. When Andy sees Dorit, he addresses her, "Hey, Hood," because even I was kind of confused of what look she was going for. There was an obvious answer in my head. Like, is she going for the Middle Eastern woman look? But I could be wrong. I don't know. It's all on what she says, what look she's going for. And when she's asked, she says, "My look is fashion, fashion, fashion." Okay, moving on. Let's see. And they get right into it. Kyle admits that her feelings were hurt when she saw the headlines about Erica telling Andy that she wants Kyle eviscerated. And then she realizes what a good friend Erica is and somebody that she can trust. And therefore she reminded herself that Erica just want Kyle to get fair treatment, or Andy to give out fair treatment across the board, and that it wasn't meant to be taken personally. Well, I'm glad you felt that way, Kyle, because you got mad not only at Sutton, but at Dorit for asking you about your marriage. Especially Dorit, since she was supposed to be a good friend of yours, even though you did say that you and Dorit are not as good as friends for some reason. Let's see. Andy asked Dorit's response to what Kyle just said regarding her friendship with Erica. Dorit, while on the subject of hurt feelings over headlines, she said she felt the same way when she read the headlines about Kyle accusing Dorit of exaggerating their friendship. Well, you guys seem like great friends, and your husbands were also great friends, so could have fooled me. And Kyle admitted that she did not appreciate Dorit talking about her marriage or asking questions about her marriage. I mean, freaking out on Sutton was one thing because obviously they're not friends. But I would think it'd be different in Dorit's case because, like I said, isn't she supposed to be your friend? And one would think that a really good girlfriend would be asking you questions out of concern, especially when she's noticing some changes and differences, not only in your behavior, but in the fact that, like she said, she and her husband PK, they don't hang out with Kyle and Mauricio the way they used to anymore. So something's obviously up. So then it's like if she says that they were good friends, then why would you say that Dorit exaggerated the friendship? Like, are you guys good friends or not? I mean, I understand certain conversations are difficult to have, but like, Kyle, you should know Dorit better than to think that she'd be out to hurt you or to use whatever information you give her against you. And as far as you being asked about it on camera, that's why Erica said what she said. And like, as somebody who's the OG and has been on this thing for 13 seasons, you should know better. And you want to talk about the toxicity of the show? Well, you took part in said toxicity when it was other housewives. But now when it's you, it's different. Gotcha. And Kyle brings up Dorit saying that she felt replaced by Morgan Wade. Did she lie? I didn't forget when you said in your confessional note that there were two people you considered your close friends, and they were Teddy and Morgan Wade, the very two people that you would turn to for anything. You never mentioned Dorit, so how did you expect her to react? How did you expect her to feel? I don't even know why I care about this crap anyway, but that's because I'm watching the show. So here we are. And Garcelle and Sutton were, I think either they were looking amused or they just had that look that says, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm glad it's not us. And Erica, same thing. It's like, I ain't in this, so I'm good. And Kyle insists that it does not mean that she does not love Dorit anymore and doesn't consider her important. Sounds like gaslighting to me, but okay. And Kyle's not really making any sense from where I'm sitting, so it was she who brought Morgan Wade into the storyline, so I don't know what she's trying to say. Let's see. Dorit says that this is just about Kyle punishing somebody when they say something that she does not like. An example would be when Dorit advised Kyle to take responsibility for why there's a rift between her and her sister Kathy at last year's reunion. And I can't say that Dorit was wrong because she's not. Moving on. Garcelle's package. Annie asks if Garcelle is more selective now for the work project she takes on. Garcelle says that she's always been selective, and that's why she agreed to do Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because it allows her to be at home more. Well, I'm glad she considers family important enough to do the show and to be at home, even though Jax did say that he could have used her mothering 2 years ago. She admits that her ex-husband never talks about the infidelity with her and her sons, and that's why Garcelle was shocked to find out that Jax already knew about his father cheating on his own mother, and that he doesn't blame him, or he's not upset about it anymore. And that's why Garcelle takes on the responsibility to talk to her sons about sex and feelings, because she figures if she doesn't, who will? So when Annie moves on to the tension between Garcelle and Dorit, Garcelle said that her feelings were hurt to know that Garcelle doesn't trust her around the family. And amazing how she used that choice of word. Like when Garcelle said she didn't trust the group, she wasn't singling out anybody. So if Dorit felt that type of way, then maybe she should have, because she should feel guilty for sitting back and either smiling or laughing, along with Kyle, Mauricio, and PK, when Erica was cussing out Jax for no apparent reason. So, yeah. Let's see. But Dorit says she understands that. And she understands when Garcelle said it hurt her feelings to see that the ladies that were supposed to be her friends laughing at another grown woman in a friend group cursing out her own son. And Dorit adds that Garcelle seems to hold a grudge. So, well, how would you feel if Erica cursed out one of your children? Would you? Are you trying to say that you wouldn't hold a grudge? Are you saying that you would be over it within a year or so, like you would expect Garcelle to be? I guess we'll never know that because you're not in that situation. And you're still talking about the trauma you feel from being robbed. When are you going to get over that? Would you like if someone asked you that question? Just saying. And Garcelle says the only reason she's feeling that way was from watching it in real time. And when she tried to express her honest feelings, she was met with a defensive response, and that made her feel guilty for sharing how she feels in the first place. And the thing is, Dorit did tell Garcelle, well, tell us how you feel, don't be passive aggressive. But this is why. This is why she feels the type of way of telling you anything, because of the responses she gets. Let's see. And then Andy mentions that while Garcelle doesn't think that Dorit is racist, she considers her an unconscious Karen. And Dorit seems to be proving her right, so what else do you want Garcelle to do? But I'm glad that Garcelle admits to it by explaining that Dorit is unaware, which she has proven. And the example Garcelle brings up is Dorit's choice word of attack. And this was when Garcelle called out Dorit for trying to embarrass Sutton with bringing up her making out with her driver, and that wasn't her business. And Dorit wants Garcelle to judge her based on her character, and she reminds her that she would never do anything to deliberately hurt her, except you have and you didn't realize that. That's why she calls you an unconscious Karen. And with your word choice, your inability to listen, and the trauma Olympics with you talking about being raised as Jewish, other examples of why Garcelle said that you were unaware and an unconscious Karen. And Garcelle mentions that Dorit was attacked when she and her family got robbed at gunpoint. Therefore, she should already know what an actual attack is. And plus, she needs to learn the difference between her robbery and being called out on her crap. And no complaint from me because Garcelle was right. Anna Marie, for some reason, pipes up and calls Garcelle out for being silent when Sutton accused Anna Marie of yelling at her when she wasn't. Okay, Sutton was wrong for that. However, you did get on her case about her esophagus and getting into her medical business, so that could have been avoided also. Just saying, but I will be fair and say that Sutton was wrong for that. And Garcelle says that everybody yells at each other. And Anna Marie snidely tells her that she's still talking, like, chill out, girl, all right? And then she adds that Dorit defended Anna Marie. Did you give her a cake or a cookie? Throw her a party? Give her a card? Like, how does that have anything to do? How does that negate how she treats Garcelle? Being passive aggressive time and time again. It doesn't. Dorit accuses Garcelle of labeling her with accusations. Well, Garcelle says that she accused, Garcelle said Dorit labeled her as angry, which is also unfair. So, yeah. Let's see. And And then Dorit asks Garcelle the following questions. Number 1, do you like me? And number 2, do you have a problem with me? Let's address the first question. Garcelle says, sometimes. Well, at least she's being halfway honest. The answer to her second question, there's obviously something. She was definitely honest with that one. Another thing she was honest about is not being sure if she can move forward with Dorit. I'd question going forward with Dorit myself if I were her, so good on her. Andy decides to move on. When Dorit asks Crystal what else about her besides her breasts is fake, Crystal says that she was joking when she shaded Dorit about never seeing a real body part in 10 years. Whatever. Anne-Marie's package. The ladies admit to being surprised that Anne-Marie is proud to consider herself 8.5. I mean, if she's cool with it, then so be it. Anne-Marie says she also considers her husband 8.5, and it's just like an inside joke between them. Anne-Marie brings up her mother, who recently passed from a tumor in her lungs, and she's still going through that. She admits to always being confident, honest, and will speak her mind. The only thing is that she internalizes things a lot. Like, while she can take criticism from when she was an athlete in her heyday, it's a different ballpark, so to speak, when she's on the show. Andy asked Anne-Marie what Crystal was like before she joined the cast and how she likes her and what she's like after she joined. She says that Crystal off the cameras is totally different from when the cameras are on her. And then there's the whole anesthesiologist versus anesthetist, like what the difference is between the two. I don't want to get too into that. Anne-Marie says that Crystal first introduced herself to her as a housewife, which Crystal denies. Like, why would I talk like that? That's ridiculous. Anne-Marie says that she vowed that she was not going to talk over her or argue with her. And Crystal says that Anne-Marie has proven herself to be a liar. And she gave the example of saying that Sutton had an eating disorder twice. And then Crystal adds that Anne-Marie intentionally misrepresents because people don't know the difference between anesthesiologists and the other thing. And that she weaponized her profession against Sutton. And Crystal's not wrong. Like, even after Sutton says, like, you're not my doctor, why should I take any advice from you? Anne-Marie was like a dog with a bone. And Andy asked Anne-Marie why Sutton's esophagus story bothered her. And Anne-Marie answers that the way it was presented to her was so odd, but odd or not, it's still not your business. Sorry. But Anne-Marie apologized to Sutton after watching how her actions and words played out within the season. And I have to say she does seem regretful for said actions, but it doesn't change the fact that they're still hashing it out. Sutton says she wasn't angry about the esophagus. Sutton, let's not kid ourselves, okay? Her problem was the talking about it behind her back and insinuating that she had an eating disorder. Again, Anne-Marie apologizes, and Dorit, for some reason, says, feels very genuine. Like, nobody asked you, Dorit, and nobody was talking to you. Just sit there and try to look cute. And now we move on to Crystal's package. Andy asked Crystal what was it about Anne-Marie that made her really speak up. And Crystal responds when the whole eating disorder thing was being brought up. And it was very big for her because she still suffers from this. And anytime someone insinuates somebody having an eating disorder, she feels she has to speak because she knows what it's like to actually go through something like this. And especially since she knows Sutton well enough to know that she's not suffering from an eating disorder and she never has. so we know. And I'm still happy at the fact, happy to see how far they've come from when they got off on the wrong foot to them being really close friends and confiding in each other and having each other's back. So that makes me very happy to see. Let's see. Crystal asks if Anne-Marie will just apologize and own up to accusing her of saying that Sutton had an eating disorder. Anne-Marie says that she never said it, and then insists yet again that neither she or Crystal said that Sutton had an eating disorder. Except you implied that. So it does seem like you lied, Anne-Marie. And I still think that Kyle was the one that put her up to it. Andy moves on to the Anne-Marie and Crystal debate part 2, but in Spain. Did Crystal say to Anne-Marie that the ladies were uneducated, shallow, and fake socialites? And then Andy brought up Crystal's confessional about saying that the ladies weren't highly intelligent. I still don't think that proves that she said that to Anne-Marie upon meeting her. I mean, she may have, I still don't think that proves anything. But Kyle believes that Crystal did say that to Anne-Marie because Crystal has said that they don't know any big words. And Anne-Marie also adds that there have been times that Crystal wasn't truthful. Example being that insinuated that Sutton was racist and said something dark. Okay, this is one example. This is one sign that Anne-Marie has obviously watched the show, because you weren't there when this whole thing played out, so how would you know unless you watched the show? And second of all, to be fair, Sutton did come across as someone who did not see color and seemed to want to shy away from talking about race, and that's why Sutton and Crystal got off on the wrong foot. But eventually they got through the conflict. Sutton apologized publicly, I might add, and she's learning through her friendships with Garcelle and with Crystal, so kudos to her. Sutton, keep learning. And I did not forget when Sutton mentions to Garcelle that she was glad that she called Dorit out on her white privilege. That lets me know that she was definitely learning through her friendship with Garcelle. I was like, oh, okay, Sutton, I see you. Good going. Another example that Anne-Marie brings up was the 14th friends that dumped Crystal. Yeah, I now see you definitely been watching this show. It's evident. And from those examples, Anne-Marie says that she doesn't want to be a part of Crystal's system of lies, whatever that is. Crystal says you're not a part of it, so don't worry about it. Andy moves on to Dorit being bothered by the perceived slight on her education, or lack thereof. Dorit says, and I quote, "I think I'm the only one here without a college education." Excuse you? How can you be so sure? Now, Erica admitted to having Erica's highest education was high school. She admitted to that, but how can you say for sure that you're the only one with the college degree, Dorit? But that's besides the point, because Garcelle says that one can be smart without having to go to college, and she's right. She's absolutely right. Just like somebody that has a college degree doesn't make a person that smart. That's also true. And Dorit is a prime example of that. Because not only does she not understand the concept of microaggressions or white privilege, she had the nerve to feign ignorance over the concept and context of the word attack. And she doesn't seem to understand the concept of child bride either, as Crystal will mention later on, or in a minute. I'm just wondering if Dorit knows that learning is not just done in an educational institution, because you can find a lesson anywhere in life. You just got to keep your eyes open. Just saying. And Dorit obviously has learned absolutely nothing from being on a show with a black housewife or Asian housewife. And that's why Crystal said the following: I'm going to stand by the uneducated comment based on you calling me a child bride. And rough. Crystal says it was a very disgusting thing to say, which it was. And then Dorit had the nerve to bring up Priscilla Presley being called a child bride. Maybe so, but the child bride comment is being directed towards an Asian person. Apples, oranges. Okay? Crystal explains to her that as an Asian person, child bride is equivalent to a male order bride. Dorit says that she now knows that, and she says it was a throwaway comment. Sure it was. Plus, she says she wasn't insinuating, and it was just a response to Crystal calling the ladies unintelligent. Yeah, sure it was, Miss Speaks Four Languages. We believe you. Not. And this is why Garcelle said what she said to you. Like, you are proving yet time and time and time again that you are unaware and that you don't care to learn and you don't care to listen. And I forgot something. Wait. And I'm sorry, I forgot this. Garcelle also brings up cops to saying that Dorit lives in a bubble, and Dorit proved that when she put up a post with the title of the caption saying "Happily living in my bubble," which reads to Garcelle and to the viewer that's both woke and not stupid that she's tone deaf. Like, Dorit, what did you think you were doing? Like, did you really think you were trying to be funny? Because if so, it fell flat. And Dorit says that it was a mistake in hindsight. Was it? Was it really? And when asked why she didn't take it down and why she's put up a second post talking about her living in her bubble, Dorit explains that she was just trying to clarify that her bubble was her family and her home. Well, then shouldn't you have made that clear within your first post regarding your being in your bubble? Better yet, you could have not made that post, period. And you wonder why Garcelle and Crystal tore into you the way that they did. You totally deserve it, Dorit. And basically that's your problem. You don't care to think. And then Dorit had the nerve to ask if Garcelle believed that her post was like a virtual middle finger. What do you think? And Garcelle said, well, yeah, that's how it was perceived. And as you have asked about Kyle, I'm going to ask about you, Dorit. Do we look like idiots to you? And Dorit asked Garcelle if Garcelle thought that was her intention. Yes, that was your intention. We are not blind. Again, we're not stupid. My goodness. You call yourself college educated, yet you choose not to learn about how you come across to Garcelle or to Crystal. And you're even proving my point that being college educated doesn't make you smart. And I'm just wondering, what exactly did you go to college for, Dorit? Like, what did you major in? Now I'm curious. I'm curious now. Dorit gets on my nerves. Let's see. I addressed the male or bride. Let's see. Yeah, she has the nerve to call herself college educated. Yeah, okay. And then Kyle had her nerve to say the following. But the other part of it saying you were 12. I always say I'm saying someone's young. I'll be like they were like 12. That's like the number people seem to say. Kyle, what are you talking about? Like you try to defend Dorit and it falls flat. You don't even know what you're not even making any sense. And anyways, why are you even defending Dorit anyway? I thought you said you two weren't friends. Crystal continues on with, you said I got married at 12. I got married at 24. I had already gone to college and I built a company worth over $100 million right now. Crystal, you better tell her. Thank you for telling her, because like I was wondering like if she saw that, when she saw that Dorit made that comment in her confessional. Amazingly, she didn't say it to her face, but she said it in the confessional. And I'm glad I heard that Crystal got on her ass for that, as she should. And Crystal adds, for you to say that you are in college and getting all this education, building businesses, while I'm getting married at 12 years old is bullshit and a microaggressive comment. Again, get her. Get her, Crystal. Dorit repeats, that was not my intention. If you say so. And she says it's a lesson learned. Yeah, we'll see about that. Anyways, on to Kyle's package. Kyle is still recoiling from her pain of losing her best friend to suicide. Andy brings up her strained friendship with Dorit and if it had to do with Kathy. And as I mentioned before, Kyle was disappointed in Dorit for suggesting that she take responsibility for her part in why her sister relationship is fractured. Andy then asked Dorit if she expected that or if it was a shock to her. And Dorit says that she's been wanting to talk about this with Kyle to get an understanding. And so they get right into it. Dorit says that she just wanted Kyle and Kathy to be good as sisters and have a good connection again. And that's fair. That's more than fair. That's why I saw no problem with Dorit saying that Kyle should accept responsibility, because part of it was her fault. We all saw that. And Kyle says that Dorit doesn't even know Kathy like that. Dorit says that, well, she has never spent time with Kathy with Kyle around. And Kyle's main point is that Kyle, and Dorit were closer. And once again, I thought you and Dorit weren't closer friends like that. Isn't that what you said before, Kyle? Isn't that what you said in your interviews in the media? So which is it? Are you guys close friends or are you not? It's got to be one or the other. And then Kyle says that it feels like during last year's reunion, when Dorit said what she said, it's as if Dorit just wanted to be on the right side of what the audience thinks and says. So you're saying that Dorit doesn't have a mind of her own? Like her opinions and what she feels is based on what the audience says? But yeah, that's the end of part 1. That's basically it. I'm glad to see Crystal really give it to Dorit on her child bride comment, because she was way out of line for that. And I'm also glad to see Garcelle not put up with Dorit's crap either. Both Dorit and Kyle can take plenty of seats. So, see you for part 2. Bye.